Hi, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Sam. I want to share in this video with everybody on how do I know that the biologic's actually working for me, and is there any particular indicators to show that the biologic's actually working. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor, nor I am in any medical professional. Everything I talked about are all experience I been through in my journey with my ankylosing spondylitis and other knowledge I acquired along the way. And if you have any medical concerns, medical questions, please reference those to your doctor. They can give you the best advice. Thank you. So currently I am on my fifth biologics. Over the last 20, somewhat about 20 years, more than that, 25 years span. I've been on many different biologics before, and like I said, currently I'm on my fifth one, and not all of them actually works. I was on embryo first for about 3-4 months or so. I have no effect with embryo, and then my doctor said, let's take you off of the embryo, and he started Remicade on me. Remicade works well. So I was on Remicade for about 7 years or so, and then I developed a reaction to it, and I had to stop Remicade. And thereafter, he tried to put me on another biologic called Orencia. Orencia is a biologic currently approved for rheumatoid arthritis, but it's not approved for ankylosing spondylitis yet. But technically, the treatment for rheumatoid and AS is very similar, but I was not getting any good result out of Orencia. So it's an infusion. I have to go into a facility, just like Remicade. There's also an infusion. I have to go to a facility to get that infused into me. So I believe like it's about another four infusions or so, and then we stopped it from there. I was just not getting any good result from that. And then, so after Orencia, there was some insurance issue. I was not able to get biologics, so I was off it for a while and just been on non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs for a good maybe 7-8 years or so before I got back into the last biologics. So when I got back to biologics, the doctor prescribed Humira. Humira I know works for many other people. It's a very popular medication, but I actually kind of blocked out from it. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or just a reaction. So again, so I was not able to use Humira. And then it put me on Cimzia. Cimzia works really well up to this day. It's about 7 years already, and it's still working. So I'm still on Cimzia currently. So yeah, it's been my fifth biologics. And the purpose of it is to try to slow it down, at least slow it down. Or if some people are not very advanced, it might even stop the progression. So it's a way for us to, maintain our balance and our health, and hopefully no damages to our body. But personally, it's a different experience, and probably I'll go into that a little later on. So my video is really to let people know, how do I know the biologic actually worked for me? And like I said, I've been through 5 of them. Embryo, 4 or 5 injections. I was not having any good results with it. But Remicade, as soon as I get done with the loading dose, the first dose, I can feel the difference. The very next day, you have these body stiffness, right? When we all have inflammation, we have these body stiffness. I felt like a rusted robot. Muscles are tense. I felt like I'm having a very hard time moving. But once that loading dose goes in, the very next day, I can start feeling that the body is starting loosening up, and within the next couple of days, the whole body just felt very loose. The stiffness seems to be gone, but well, not completely. But when I'm dealing with all these high level of stiffness to a low level of stiffness, it's a big difference, and the movement is so much better. So that's how I know that it was actually working. It suppresses the inflammation, and therefore the stiffness is much lower. So without the biologic and just being on non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug or disease-modifying drugs, it really doesn't have that effect on my body. But the biologics did. That was my first indicator that it is working. So yeah, the stiffness. What are other indicators that will show that the biologics actually working? Or blood works. When you're on biologics, doctors have to monitor your blood work and the effects of the medication, as well as the side effects of the medication. So blood work has to be done every so often. So I'm doing it once in 6 months, so twice a year. Blood work is the way the doctor can look at the side effects of it, and mainly to kind of monitor the major side effects of the medication, like does it have any does it affecting your TB, is it affecting your liver, because the medication can induce liver disease, as well as kidney. So doctor has to monitor all that to make sure that your other organs are working just fine. And at the same time, the effectiveness of the medication will show on the blood work as well, like like all the inflammation markers, such as the white blood cell, the SED rate, and CRP. All those numbers should come down, and before the biologics, you can see those numbers probably skyrocket. And I can show you what my SED rate is. Anything that goes over like 20 something is considered a high inflammation in the body. And without the biologic, I'm looking at 40 something. And that's very high. That's doubling the normal rate, and or even tripling it. WBC is up, but on biologics, it can bring those numbers down. So those are the indication that the biologics actually working. It is suppressing the immune system, and when that is doing the job, then that means the body is having less inflammation, and those will show on the blood works that these numbers are slowly coming down into the normal range. The other question is, does it actually remove the pains? Well, coming from my own experience, and being on the forum for with ankylosing spondylitis, and seeing a lot of communication back and forth with other people, for me, it did not completely remove my pains. If I said completely remove it, that would not be true. It does remove some pains, or I have less inflammation, and therefore the pains are a little lower. But however, when I was diagnosed, it took more than 10 years to have my diagnosis, and by then I had a great deal of damages in my body, and I started with my hip, and my hip was already badly damaged. And when the doctor started biologics on me, basically I already pretty much needed a hip replacement. There was just no way around it. It was so badly damaged. So in my case, I said no, it would not remove all of my pains, but it does bring the pain levels down. Now, of course, that's just my own experience, but with other people who has a lower damage rate, or they just started AS not too long ago, and lucky the doctors caught it early, it could save you a lot of damages, because if you suppress the immune system, so it will slow down, or technically, if it can, it can stop the progression. So that's a good thing, trying to get a diagnosis as soon as possible. But it's not an easy disease to get diagnosed. So for the people who does not have very advanced, ankylosing spondylitis, it's very possible that it could remove a good 80% of the pain or 90% of the pain, and you can very much move around normally like everyone else. So in regards to biologics, it kind of works differently in every person. It varies from person to person as well, and it depends on the biologic. For me, like I said, when the medication works, I can sense it after the first dose. Other people, being on, like I said, being on the forum, I can see people who said it took them 4 months to 6 months to have any effects, and ongoing, they were getting good results from them. So some people would take a little while. As for me, like I said, very much the very next day or the day after, I was pretty much good with the medication. So how about you? What are your experience? How many biologics have you gone through? What are your experience? Leave me a message below. Share with people. Hopefully, new people who are being on starting biologics can kind of learn from us and where these biologics stand. How do they know it's working? What are the effects? And when do they need to, talk to the doctors? I would say, you got to keep, actually, you should be following up with your doctor the first time being on it. I think the doctor wants to see you back in 3 months, and that's that's with my experience, but I don't, it's kind of different with everybody. And then doctors will do blood works, will let you know, what's working, what's not, and then they'll move on to something else or add something else to it to make sure that, you're getting the best treatment. So, yeah, make sure you're getting a good rheumatologist is really the key. So, anyway, thank you for watching. That's all for the video today. So, if you have any experience, any good information to share, yeah, leave it below. Love to hear from you. So if you like my video, please give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye bye.